What's up, guys? This is Tabletop Vibes, and today we're taking a look at Surviving Tombs of the Cryptids by Afterlight Comics. Steven, what did you think?
Yeah, this game was an adventure, dungeon crawler, press your luck, dice rolling. It has a little bit of everything.
It does. Yeah, and essentially you're explorers, and you have decided to dive into the tombs to explore them and try not to die in the process. So it's a cooperative game. Push your luck, like Steven was saying. It kind of is like a dungeon crawl version of King of Tokyo, which I like a lot. Obviously, as normal, I can't roll dice to save, well, anybody, let alone myself. But we had a really good time.
Yeah, we did. So essentially the way you set up the game is the rulebook is going to tell you what cards are going to be included. You shuffle them up and you only know where the start and the end is. But then you deal out these dungeon cards to form different paths to exit the dungeon. And you want to collect all of the gears and defeat the monsters that show up in each room before finally defeating the final boss when you get to the very, very end.
If you get to the very, very end. Yeah, so essentially you're like all these different rooms are face down and then you are going to explore. So on your turn you can move into a room and then the room flips up. But before you do that, you do an event card. These event cards can have good positive effects or they can have negative effects, giving you gold, removing skills. Every character you pick out of, I think there's like 5 or 6 characters, I think. And everybody has an asymmetrical ability. Mine was to reduce a wound, and you need to get your skill level all the way up to its max to be able to use its ability. And so there's events that can minus those. You can gain gold, you can take wounds. Like the events just do a lot of cool things. Then you're like, okay, if you survive the event, you go into the into the room and, well,
you start to fight the enemy.
Yes.
Yeah, so each enemy has a total amount of health, total amount of damage dealt if he's still alive at the end of your turn, and then a reward.
Turn.
Yeah. And then a reward for when you finally deal that killing blow.
The person who deals that. That's so you're cooperative to a point.
Yeah.
So like you can decide to share with each other like Steven didn't and win all of the battles and take all of the money and leave me broke.
Yeah. Well,
in a dungeon and broke.
You did the same thing to me. So
I did. 100%.
Every time you roll the dice, you can choose to re-roll up to 3 times. That's where the press your luck aspect comes in. So if you roll and you think, I think I might be able to deal a better roll, you can't just pick and choose the dice you want to keep and re-roll the rest. It's all or nothing. And so the different things that can show up on the dice is to strike a blow to the enemy. You could heal yourself. You could shield yourself from the enemy's attacks. You have the ability to gain a coin, and you have the ability to gain a skill.
Yes.
So these are rolled out on the table, and you get to choose if I think that this is going to be a good combination of attack versus defend versus skill versus coin.
Right, and sometimes you immediately regret that decision when you re-roll, or at least I do. Or we had like that one monster, we had one of the monsters we fought against, you could only re-roll once.
Yeah.
Which meant like, this is it. If this is what you get.
All or nothing.
Yeah. Or another monster was like every time you rolled stars, which get you skills, we would actually not gain stars. We'd lose that much skill every time we rolled them. So now we're over here hoping that we don't roll stars.
Yeah, tough stuff.
And so you got like monsters at strength of 14, doing 3 damage, 16, and you're over here just like, why can't I just punch this guy one time?
Yeah, but thankfully, because you're working together, eventually that monster will be defeated.
Yes, because you can't leave that room until somebody dies.
So once that monster is defeated and you collect your rewards, if it's a special room, which is a room with a gear or a fountain or a shop, you get to then do what that allows you to do. So if it's a gear, you collect that gear. You need to collect all of the gears before you can head to the exit and defeat the final boss.
Which that's based off of how many people are playing at the time.
Or if it's a fountain, then once you defeated the monster, then you found the Fountain of Youth, and each player can heal up to 5, which is great when you're kind of hanging on by a thread.
Especially if you're not rolling well and that monster is just 3 damage every single turn to you.
You got it.
5 damage, And then there's Shop, which is like pretty much a godsend because you're gaining money constantly and you need to equip yourself with items. are objects that you can use. Each asymmetrical person and ability, you have different slots of what you can hold. Shields, potions, gears, and those different items come out. You draw 5 off the top of the deck, and that is what is there. There is nothing else. Because obviously it's not a real shop. You know, you stumbled upon good items in a crypt, but you're not like, there's nobody selling like, hey, here's the next thing, right? You get what you get, which is for better or for worse. But the cool part is, if you travel together, which is why you should probably travel together, because if you take 2 different separate paths, you're getting 2 separate monsters. And then you're locked in there.
Yeah.
And so you can buy different items, which of these items are really cool, like knives and amulets. And I could take Steven's damage on a turn instead of him taking the damage, which could be helpful.
Yeah, there's cards that will allow the enemy to take damage that it was supposed to be dealt to you. There's cards that you can discard, drink a potion, and heal yourself a few. So these items are very good. But just like the asymmetrical player abilities, they do require your skill level to be up at a certain level. So you need to keep that in mind, and that skill level can go up and down while you're fighting monsters, especially if you get one like you were saying before, where the skill gets subtracted instead of added.
He kicked my butt.
Rolls.
I'm pretty sure I lost 5 skill points, and I wasn't even rolling that bad.
Right.
It was just one after another, and then we had another guy that just took $1 every single round. He was still alive, and he started at like 14, I think, health.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a really cool aspect of like, we're working as a team, but part of you is like, I'm going to do me. And then you regret that because you're by yourself stuck in a room with a monster wailing on you. And then, or you are like, yeah, I did really good. And then your buddy comes in and does better job and wins all the money. And doesn't share, even though he could.
Just whoever deals that killing blow.
Yeah, exactly.
To the victor go the spoils.
That's what they say. You know, when in a dungeon, I guess. But yeah, it's just a blast. Again, it varies with 2. You can play 2 players, 3, 4, and then the complexity can be kind of tweaked to make it harder or easier. It's just super enjoyable to just jump into, and it's not hard to learn. And it's easy to like just pick up and go. It's also not that big of a box, so it's a good travel box. Yeah,
really easy to figure out. It takes about 45 to 90 minutes to play, just depending on who's playing. So yeah, I had a good time. I'd play again.
It was a super great time. So yeah, make sure you check it out. It's coming to Kickstarter really soon. Like, subscribe, and comment if you would share with your friend in a dungeon.
Absolutely not.
Obviously.
I think I proved that during
you did 10 times over. And pretty sure that's why we barely won. But that's fine. Forgive and forget, they say.
We're still friends, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Anyways, we're Tabletop Vibes. As always, thanks for watching. We'll check you next time.